So kind of to give you the explanation again, is this video podcast was inspired by the word Sonder, which made me underscore the word Sonder, which means when you kind of realize everyone has their own crazy specific life and has gone through all sorts of stuff, good, bad, unique, everything. But it's like a combination of like, how the heck did you get here? You know, what kind of events brought you here? So, I just want to keep it like casual, and obviously I'm recording it, but like I want us to, I want to ask questions or get to know you more than the average of like, what's up? Like all I would bullet point Cody as is like, taught me how to do wedding videography, is now married.
Yes.
Has a house, has 3 boats that he's trying to sell. If anyone is in need of a boat in the Newport Huntington area. And a hard worker and a businessman, you know, but I would still want to know, more about you. So can you kind of give me just where you were raised and who raised you? And we'll just start with that.
God, I was born in Tarzana.
Where's that?
I think in LA.
Okay.
Like area. Yeah. It sounds like it's like somewhere far, but like Tarzana.
Yeah.
Tarzana, California. To my dad, Richard Newkirk, and my mom, Pam Newkirk at the time.
Okay.
We lived, I think, in Burbank area. Or no. Yeah, I think Burbank or Glendale or something like that when I was super young.
How old is super young?
When I was born, I think we lived in Glendale.
Okay.
And then my parents ended up splitting up. And from what I remember, like, you know, in a nutshell, like we moved, my sister and I moved to Long Beach.
Yeah.
That's where she met my stepdad. And they are now married, have like quite a while, I think like 15 years.
Okay.
And from there we moved to Temecula, California, where I went to middle school, high school, all that good stuff. And then once we were done with that, or I was done with that high school, I moved back out to Redondo.
Okay.
Where my dad had been living at the time, my real dad. And that's kind of where I got involved in like all the film stuff. He worked on a NCIS set. And so I learned a lot of stuff there. And I grew up a little in Long Beach. So then when I was done at working on movie sets and stuff like that, I ended up moving in with my buddy Adam in Huntington. We got a big house. His dad helped us out, and we just paid him rent. So grew up there in my college days. Went to OCC for film and stuff like that.
Nice.
And gosh, I don't know what else to tell you.
No, that's cool. Okay, let's go back. So when your parents split, how old were you?
I think I was like 7.
7?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, so it was probably because you're 31 now, and they've been.
I think I'm 32, actually.
30.
Yeah. I'm 32. I'll take 31, but I'm pretty sure I'm 32.
Okay. So, but if your mom and what's your stepdad's name?
Steve.
Your mom and Steve have been together for 15 years. So that would put you at what, 17 years old when they got married? Were you in high school?
Gosh, maybe they're married a lot longer.
Were you in high school still?
I don't think so.
Junior high then, huh?
Yeah.
So it was probably maybe
I think I might have been even like
years?
10 or 11, yeah.
Oh.
They've been married for a while.
Okay. So we'll give them at least 18.
Yeah.
Probably more because you can't remember your own age. So.
I know. Yeah. There's a lot of things I need to figure out about my life right now.
What do you know what happened between your biological dad and your biological mom and why they split? Because I come from
I think from what I know is, God, honestly, I don't even know. I think it was just like money issues and maybe him not being the best dad or, you know, whatever it was. But from what I know, it just kind of didn't work out. They were like, you know what, this is the best option for us to just split up. And then, I mean, hey, you know, like I just got married and I always tell people like, you know, divorce sucks. It's not a good thing. It sucks. It's nobody wants it, but
yeah.
you know, you only get one life and to this day I think it's the best thing that ever happened to my mom. I mean, I would have never met my stepdad if it wasn't for that divorce.
Mm-hmm.
And I truly believe that I am the person I am today because of my stepdad.
Mm.
I got a lot of great things from my biological father, which he actually passed away last year, I think.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, thank you. But I got a lot of good things from him, and I got a lot of great things from my stepdad. So, um, you know, again, like divorce sucks, but you know, you only get one life, and you got to be happy. So
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
And I think in that scenario with my parents, it worked out. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think my biological father was super happy with the outcome of the divorce. But you know what? It's live and learn, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
How did your dad pass away?
so with that, you know, I think there was a lot of depression with him. He got remarried and then they broke up.
Okay.
And that kind of hit him pretty hard. And then I think, you know, he would tell me stuff like, I miss your mom and this and that and stuff. He ended up taking his life. And yeah, I mean,
Yeah, that sucks.
yeah.
Sorry, man. It's a super hard like concept because I've been through a similar situation where it's like you don't know and you don't realize like how fragile people really are. Whether if it's like how like I don't know, something in their head can just tweak and it just like
Yeah.
floor is taken underneath. You know what I mean? Like, and even for the people that they leave behind, it's like, why would you do that? But you can't even ask the question anymore. You know what I mean? Like that. I feel like that's one of the hardest ways for someone to go, and like that can have such a crazy effect on the people that were actually in their life and did love them, you know, like
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, you know, he would call me and be super depressed about stuff, but with him and I, we always had this relationship of like, he would always call me with like excuses, you know? And like, I'm just not like into that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Like for me, if, you know, an excuse is just an excuse,
Yeah.
you know? So it's like, if you have an issue and you have an excuse to not do something, to figure out how to do it, you know?
Yeah.
Which is kind of something that my stepdad taught me. So I kind of had that mentality with him. You know, he would call me and just kind of complain about his life and stuff. And I was like, well, you know, I can try to give you a job or, you know, something like that, you know, try to help out. But, you know, like, you're supposed to be my father. Like, you know, I should be coming to you for advice. But, which, you know, it goes both ways. That's fine. I'm an adult now, you know, and I got my own thing going on. And like I said, you know, I offered him, you know, hey, get your captain's license. I'll pay for it. I can
Yeah.
use you on boats that I have and stuff like that. But it was always just an excuse. So, you know, every time we talked, it was just kind of like, woe is me on his end. And
Yeah.
for me, it was just kind of draining. Like, you know, if your life's bad, then do something about it. Yes, there's a lot that goes into it, you know, he was on a lot of medications, his back hurt really bad, um, and I believe him because my back's already starting to hurt, and I'm only 32, so, there's a lot of, like, rough things that he went through, but, again, you know, it's like it's crazy, like, the whole suicide stuff is very, like, unknown, I feel like, you know, a lot of people, like, are in different I never even thought that that was, like, a thing, you know, with him,
Mhm.
especially, like I knew he was depressed, but I never thought, like, you know, oh, he would take his own life or anything like that, but
Mhm.
before you know it, it was done,
Yeah.
you know? It wasn't like he was calling me like, "Hey, I wanna take my life, or I wanna kill myself or something," and I
Yeah.
was like, "I don't believe you," you know, like yeah, I knew he was depressed, but I never knew it would go that far.
Yeah.
So, you know, there were times where I was like, I could have done more, I could have, like, tried to see him more, he'd always wanna see me and stuff, but,
Yeah.
you know, he didn't live here, he lived in Oregon, and it's like,
It's a
sure, I'd love to
commitment.
see you, but, like, you know,
Mhm.
I'm super busy and, like,
We each
you
have
can
our life.
we each have our own lives and, like,
Yeah.
you know, if you wanna see me, come on down, and, um, but yeah, I mean, I definitely could have done more. I think that's one thing that I definitely could always work on is, like, more effort, you
Yeah.
know, like, even just driving out here today, you know, like, it's only 30 minutes away, it, like, you know, it takes time out of my day, but it's like, I've after that happened, I've kinda, like, tried to be a lot more open to, like, just slowing down and, like, soaking up each day and, like, especially when it happened, like, I lived my life a little bit differently, like, right after
Yeah.
that, and just, you know, appreciating the people around you, because like, I'm very in my own ways. My wife always tells me that, like, you know,
We got our
we have
schedules.
our schedules and,
We got
like,
our
I'll stick to it,
routines.
it works.
Yeah.
I gotta get my stuff
Yep.
done, and, like,
100%.
what I care about it's a little selfish, but, like, all I worry about every day when I get up is, like, "Okay, what do I have to do today to provide for me and my family?"
Yep.
You know? And it's
Mhm.
like, you gotta, like, enjoy the little things too, you know?
Yeah.
You can't always be working, I'm always on my phone, but I kinda tell myself, like, "Now's the time to be on my phone a ton," like, I don't have kids yet. I wanna build up my empire and get to the
Yeah.
point where when I do have kids, I can have something that just kinda working for me and I'm not on my phone as much.
Yeah.
But right now, it's just kinda like grind mode, I guess,
Mhm.
for me.
It's the investment time period, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I feel
So
you. Um, Something I wanted to add, going back to just suicide in general, because it was my grandpa that took his own
oh,
life, and I
man.
was
Sorry.
thank you. It was 5 years ago. Yeah, it was like 5 years ago, and that was like my first family death too. That like someone that I was close to. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I would go see him maybe my senior year of high school. I came back out to live in California, and he lived in Mission Viejo. I was in Anaheim, going to school in Irvine, and 2 times a week or so, I'd go visit him and just go hang out. Like play with the dog, just talk, watch football. Like pretty nonchalant, but it was good quality time.
Yeah.
And then something happened mentally for him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, something happened mentally for him, and he was not. I don't know if it's not schizophrenic, but like he would make a bunch of lies about
Really?
everyone and everything, and like even started lying about what I would or wouldn't do for him.
Yeah.
Because my mom is in the East Coast, and so I would help out here and there, just check in on him, and hang out and stuff like that. But one day it got so bad, my mom called me. She said, "Don't call him anymore.
Really?
Don't visit him anymore. He's not well."
That's
And
crazy.
yeah, and I have a really small side on my mom's side. It's my mom, my aunt, and her husband. They have no kids. I'm the only kid on my mom's side. My
Oh,
grandpa, who was in Mission Viejo, and my grandma, my mom's mom, who was in Holland. That's it. So very small, super small family. And yeah, she called me one day. I was at Disneyland. Yay.
your favorite place. You're
uh
always there.
yeah, I was at Disneyland with Steph, and we were in line at Space Mountain, and she let me know what happened, and it was just like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Like
crazy.
it made me think like, I feel like the reason why most people end up taking their life or who choose to is because it's the only thing they feel like they can't control.
Interesting. What do you mean by that?
Like
they can't, what can they not control? Their life?
their life, their emotions, their thoughts,
Yeah.
their relationships with people. Like, because you can go, like, in those situations, I feel like it's either like you have a mental health issue or it's a situation. And that could be like family, that could be work, that can be finances, that can be something that you can't control has directly impacted your life. And because you can't control it, something you can control right now is whether you are living or not.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like, you know what I mean?
True.
I just feel like, because for my grandpa, I feel like it was his own mental health where he was like, I think maybe he knew something wasn't right. And everyone started pulling out of his life because of how he was treating everybody.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, like, when it comes to, like, your mental state. Like, you kind of wonder if people can, like, tell when they're, like, crazy, you know?
Mm-hmm. Like something hasn't.
So another crazy thing that is similar to that, like mental health. My stepdad, this year, or wait, last year, 2022, recently, he went to the hospital for super low sodium. He he pretty much he felt super tired, and we didn't know what was wrong. Like, they're like, went to the doctor and they were just like, like, we don't really know what to tell you. Like, let's do a blood test. So weeks later, the blood test comes back and his doctor calls him and goes, you need to go to the hospital right now. She's like, you should be dead. Like,
jeez.
Yeah, she's like, you need to go now. Walks in the hospital and they're like, this is the lowest sodium level we've ever seen on a living person in this hospital. It's like 104. I think at 125, you're supposed to go to the hospital.
Okay.
He was at 104. And he's a pretty healthy dude, so I'm assuming that helped. 2 days later, 3 days later, everything's fine. He's getting back to normal. We're like, great, everything's good. All of a sudden, dude, like that, just gone. Like, took a turn for the worst.
Dang.
And like went from like a pretty casual hospital to like they had to move him to like a legit, like, where was it? Mission Viejo, I think.
Oh yeah.
Providence or something. So he goes there, and the reason I brought this up is because you're talking about, like, people's mental state and stuff like that. Mental illness. He went like crazy. So he went from being like the most normal guy ever, like totally cool, chill, nice guy, funny, witty, very successful, to he was in the hospital, and it's something called hospital-induced delirium.
Okay.
And so you pretty much go crazy. You pretty much lose your mind. Like, he looked like a crazy person. I was like, this is not my dad.
Yeah.
Like the doctor's like, no, it's totally fine. It's totally normal. Like, people lose it in the hospital because they're in there for so many days. They don't like know when it's like daytime, when it's dark, and like, and like,
true.
So then they also found out he had a tumor pressing on his pituitary gland.
Jeez.
So they think that might have also been helping or contributing to the situation. But his low sodium got so bad, and then when they pump you back with sodium, your brain swells. So they were saying, like, if you do it too fast, you can like go crazy or brain damage.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, he's a goner. Like, he doesn't even know who I am. He's like, he can't talk. He's like in restraints like this because he's like, he doesn't know where he's at. He's like, I don't, what's going on? I don't know where I am. And they're like, do you know your name? And he's like talking in Spanish.
What?
And like,
Yo,
Went crazy, dude. I'm telling you, like
that's insane.
it was nuts. So so going back to that, like I was wondering, like I wonder, because I mean he looked like a vegetable, like
Dude,
couldn't talk,
that's insane.
had his tongue out of his mouth, biting on his tongue, like mittens on because he was trying to rip everything out. He was trying to like push off the nurses. I mean, this is the
Dude,
nicest
that's
guy
so
in the world,
sad.
and he went from that to this because I mean, you don't know what's going on. You're like,
Yeah.
it's like he thought they were like, "Do you know why you're here?" And he's like, "My wife took me to jail. I'm in jail," and we're like, "Dude, what's going on?"
Oh,
So that was gnarly, but going back to that, like you just kind of sit there and think, like, I wonder if behind all of this, like, you know, total chaos, like craziness, like he doesn't even know who he is. Deep down inside, if you're like, oh
like
my God,
something's wrong.
I know, or like it's like a total like window, like inside, you're like, wait, I'm trying to say my name right now, but these people are not hearing me say it.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, it's trippy.
Yeah.
Mental health and like, you know, all that stuff.
Yeah. So your analogy was like spot on because so my wife has depression and anxiety, and she will always say, like, she keeps using the term, my brain, I understand this, but my brain says this.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can keep telling me that. That's great that you know XYZ is the truth and this is what is actually happening. But my brain doesn't care about
Yeah.
what you're saying right now. It just thinks this is what's going on and this is what could happen or will happen, or because of this, it's going to lead to this. So like, I think it is very much like I guess what you're saying is like, there's a little box you know, like we'll just call it your soul. And is you're able to like look to see like what you're currently doing, you know, and yeah, it's crazy because I think when I am talking to Stephanie, it's like, hey, I get that you're feeling this, and I'll acknowledge it. I'll hear her out and I'll listen to her, but then I just have to keep drilling it and just be consistent with her because there's really nothing else that I can do, or that she wants me to do, and it's just like, hey, I understand this is what you're feeling. I know you just told me this 5 minutes ago, but I'm going to tell you the truth again. This is what is actually happening right now. And you don't need to feel XYZ because these things are already provided or, you know, taken care of, or whatever the situation that she's anxious about. So yeah, crazy mental health, dude, is crazy. And I didn't realize how like, normal it is to have a mental health issue until I got married.
Yeah.
Because Steph and I, we didn't live together. Like we saw each other very consistently, but I think once we lived together, I can see a lot of habits that I couldn't see on like the dates and casually hanging out at my place or her place or whatever it was. And I'm usually a pretty happy-go-lucky dude, you know, like I'm thinking positive.
Yep.
I don't want to hear about the negatives,
Yep.
you know, oh, it's a negative. Let me turn it into a positive real quick. That was me. And then when Stephanie came along, it was like, my spouse, I have to learn how to not have to. I think if I wanted the marriage to last, I needed to be willing to learn how to help or just to understand in general of what was going on. Because if I didn't choose to just understand or try to understand, then I would have been like even more stubborn than I am now. You know, I don't think our marriage probably wouldn't have lasted if, you know, I wasn't willing to learn. But I'm 20. I was 22, 23 or 22, 23, I think. When we got married, and that whole world just like exploded in my face. You know?
It's a crazy world, man.
Yeah.
Marriage.
Dude. Okay, so how's what you got 2 years? Been married 2 years now?
Oh God. Like maybe not even 6 months. It was July 23rd.
Oh shoot.
Was our wedding day?
Really?
gosh, or the 24th.
Cody is not good with numbers.
No.
But you do have good businesses, but
I just have to look it up. I'm pretty sure it's the 23rd.
Okay. Okay, well what's the difference now between being married and just dating up to that point?
You know, not a lot, but I feel like once you're married, you kind of have that like you get more of a bond, I feel like.
Mm.
You kind of like realize that you're family now.
Yeah.
And like, you know, when you go out or like when people hit on your wife or whatever, you're just kind of like, that's my wife, you know, like, I don't know. It's like that sense of security, I guess. I think
Mhm.
on both ends, you
Yeah.
know, a lot more. I feel like a lot more like men versus women, like the women usually want to get married sooner. They want the marriage because they want that security. They want like, you know, or whatever it might be. But I feel on both ends, like kind of just that mutual, like we're family now. And I took an oath to, you know, be your husband and be your wife. And I don't know. I mean, there's definitely things that get hard, you
Yeah.
know? And, but you just got to learn together and just like pick and choose how you want to deal with stuff,
Mhm.
you know? Like, I didn't know if we were going to like join our finances and like, you know, we had to sit down and talk about all that. And, so yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that come along with it, but I mean, for the most part, it's just like kind of the same shit.
Yeah.
You're just locked in now.
Yeah. For real. For
But
real.
no, it's cool. It's like I love calling my wife my wife.
Yeah.
You know, and you kind of earn it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I always told her I wanted to earn that like title. You know, like I didn't want to just like propose out of nowhere and like 6 months in or something like that and just
Mhm.
be like, all right, we're married now. Like, I mean, hey, some people fall in love and they know it after 6 months, which is totally cool.
Yeah.
But for me, it was like I had a lot of long-term relationships. In high school, I had a 5-year relationship, maybe even 6.
Dang.
And then from there, I think I went on to like another 2, maybe 3-year relationship.
Mm-hmm.
From there, another 2 to 3-year relationship. And then I met her.
Mm-hmm.
So all my relationships were pretty long. And I feel, for myself at least, after 2 years is when you know, like, okay, I can live with this person for the rest of my life,
Yeah.
or this is a bit rough. I'm not sure if I can live with this person for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
It could happen sooner than that,
Uh-huh.
or it could take 2.5 years or 3 years. But after the 3rd year with her, 2.5, 3-year mark with her, I was like, okay, like, I don't see myself changing, you know, this relationship at all. Or like, I don't see myself bowing out of this. Or
Yeah.
I don't see any like major red flags that I don't think we can fix in the future that could hurt us. So it was kind of like, you know,
Yeah.
for me, it was like, this is the one.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I felt that stuff earlier on too. Like my high school girlfriend, like, you know, we're going to get married.
Yeah.
And the harsh reality is, you know, like chances are you're
Probably
not.
not.
Your high school sweetheart. But hey, if you do, then great for you.
Great for you.
But you know, it's just about finding that person that gets along with you and that is like you. But I do feel like people change a lot.
Yeah.
You know, like not like in a bad way, but or sometimes it can be in a bad way,
Mhm.
but like even my wife and I, like we definitely have changed a lot since we met. And thankfully it's been working out.
How long have you known her? Or started
We've
dating
been together for like 6 years and I think it was only about 3 to 4 months
Okay.
of us like hooking up.
Yeah.
Hanging out until we were like,
Hey.
okay, why don't you just like start staying over here and let's like make this legit.
Yeah.
So she always gives me shit. like, yeah, you asked me like what were we and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, like I want to know like, what page you're on.
You're-
But she was like, no, I don't want a boyfriend yet. And then 2 months later, she's like moving in. So, but
Gotcha.
yeah, no, she's great though. We fell in love, and it's been 6 years now.
Dang.
6 months. What is that? July? How many months is that now? It's like the end of July.
It's the end of July, so that's 6.5 years.
No,
Or 5.5 years.
we've been married.
Oh, been
July
married?
23rd.
Let's see. It's the 25th. So you got 7 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, 7 months. I think.
Nice.
Is it 7 or is it 6?
6 or 7.
No, it's 6. My bad.
Somewhere around there. We'll round up.
Math.
Numbers and math, dude. If it's money math, I'm about
You're great.
Yeah. But dates and stuff and months,
Yeah. I hope whenever you guys have kids that their birth dates aren't confusing as shit. Because right now, like Kai's birthday is on March 25th, and our Steph and I's anniversary is on the 7th. So people will be like, oh, when I take him to urgent care because he's always sick, be ready for that. Oh, what's his birthday? And I'll be like, the 7th? No, that's the anniversary. Yeah, it's the 25th.
That's so funny.
What do you feel like having, or what have you learned from a husband perspective from your dad's? Because I'm sure you've taken not necessarily like things you would never want to do, but even things that you have seen that are like, oh, I'm gonna make a mental note right now of when I'm a husband, like I want to do that, or the opposite end. What do you feel like you've taken away?
I mean,
from your,
like I
your
said,
parents?
like my biological dad like didn't have the best track record with my mom and my sister.
Sure.
So
Sister too?
yeah,
Okay.
so like they had a falling out. He would like talk crap on my stepdad, and that didn't sit well with us because we actually really appreciated him.
Yeah.
So I'm very like, I don't like awkwardness and like,
Yeah.
especially with like family and stuff. So I was just like, I don't like that, but I'm not gonna like stop seeing you over it. My sister was the opposite, like cut him off. Like,
Dang.
we're not seeing you anymore.
Uh-huh.
But with that, I always tell people my biological dad, he had a big part in my life. Like he raised me for whatever, maybe let's say like 15 years, because I still saw him when my parents were split up.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot from him. I learned how to fish. I learned how to boat. I learned how to dirt bike. I learned a lot of things that a kid should have fun and experience, and just how to be a kid, or how to be funny. My dad was really funny, and my stepdad came along and kind of just taught me like how to be a man, and like no excuses, and like that was just kind of like always the thing that my stepdad would like give me. It was like if I was messing around when I was like 21, like going to clubs and parties and just partying my life away.
Yeah.
It was my stepdad that was calling me. It was my stepdad that was calling me like, what are you doing with your life? Like, you're going to be a total loser. You got to get your shit together. My real dad was just like, do you? Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, whatever. Just, I can't give you advice.
You're having fun? Cool.
Yeah. So I appreciated what my stepdad did and taught me. But as far as being like a husband, I guess, like my biological dad wasn't the best husband, I don't think, from what I can remember. He did get remarried, and there were things that, maybe weren't the greatest, or I don't know. Like I would hear things. It's not like I lived with my dad.
Yeah. It wasn't something you probably witnessed.
No, but like my dad was a great guy. Like I learned a lot from him, and I loved him very much. And he, like I said, he taught me things maybe not how to be a husband because, I wasn't really around him a lot when he had the role of being a husband.
Sure.
But my stepdad, I don't know. He's very like just I don't know how to explain it, but he's just a good dude. Like he's a man, and like kind of teaches me how to be a man or like how to be wrong or I don't know. Just overall how to be a good person, I guess. And I think that maybe that reflects on how to be a good husband, but he's always been pretty good to my mom and stuff like that. There's always stuff that you don't see, when it's just them two, maybe they fight or whatever, but
Sure.
um for the most part, he's just a good guy, he just cares for other people and cares for my mom and cares for me and my sister. And so, I mean, I kind of just gathered that from him.
More was this more just by his example and his demeanor and just how he was, or
Yeah,
was it
just
like
how he was,
okay.
it's like, again, like I got a lot of great things from my biological
Of
dad,
course.
just how to be a good person or a fun person and live life and enjoy everything. And then my stepdad kind of taught me like the business side of stuff and you got to be able to provide and do this and that. And so I kind of feel like I got a good mashup of both things,
Yeah.
which I think both things, help in a healthy marriage.
Yeah.
So,
Or
yeah.
just a life in general too.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you got to learn how to have fun and still work.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, you just got to be a good, fun, loving person. Like, I mean, my wife's like a freaking supermodel. Like, I'm not.
Not like.
I'm not a
Not
supermodel.
Not like.
So, I had to bring something to the table, and it wasn't my looks. So, I think that she fell in love with me just because I was fun and I provided a good time and
Yeah.
we just had fun together. So, it's just about being a good person
Yeah.
overall. We have our ups and downs, of course, and we try to learn with each other and tell each other what we want to work on and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, I guess I haven't really gone to my parents about like, how should I be a good husband and stuff, but I don't know.
Maybe have you ever asked your mom about your dad's and like getting to know why it didn't work out? Or because it seems like you see and you hear, or you more hear than you see about what whether if it was your dad. You see more with your stepdad, but you don't necessarily hear more. So it seems a little opposite. Have you ever asked your mom? I'm just curious. Have you ever asked your mom of like, oh, like how come it didn't work out with you and dad?
I have, but I honestly I can't really remember.
Oh, okay.
Like how detailed it got, but I think in a nutshell it was just like, financial things like weren't great, and like I'm very thrifty and like, there's times where I give Sabrina crap for buying something or I can only imagine maybe it got to that point where it was just like it was too rough on them or I don't know. I don't know. My mom definitely worked really hard in the beginning of her life and I think that maybe things just got to a point where it was too much like with raising us
Sure.
and I don't know. I'm assuming maybe his work ethic maybe kind of fell through and it just wasn't working out. The life, everything. I feel like there's so many like things that come into play with like having a happy life, you know, and like
a lot of variables for sure.
For me, I do believe that money can definitely help with happiness. I mean, it plays a big factor,
It wouldn't hurt.
No. So
at least in my situation,
it makes a lot, right? It makes a lot of things easier,
Yeah.
Yes, money can bring bad things to your life, but as long as you're happy, that's all that matters, you know? Like you just have to be happy with the situation that you're in.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to sign up for it. Like
Yeah.
if you meet somebody and you're like, hey, this is what I care about. I want to have a mansion one day. I want to have
Yeah.
sports cars. That's what makes me happy. Then so be it. Like that's me. I want to have a nice car. I want to have the big house. These are things that I want personally.
Yeah.
Some people don't want them, and
That's
that's
fine.
totally fine.
Yeah.
For me, that does make me happy. So, if I'm working a lot or whatever, it's because I want to get to that point one day. But sometimes I think that, yeah, I don't know, people sign up for stuff maybe, and then they realize like, this isn't what I wanted.
Yeah.
And you only get one life.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like, it sucks,
Yeah.
but you got to be happy.
Yeah. And I think, like, part of what you're saying is reminding me of the idea of just learning how to be content, but also having goals and knowing what you want and what you want in the life. Because you can have the goals of, you want the nice car, you want the house, you want the boats, you want to play golf. You know what I mean? Like those are the things that you want. But if you're not putting in the effort to get there and you're just constantly complaining about things that you can't control, then it's, you know what I mean? Then I see some red flags. But I feel like if you can still want these things, and if you're still trying, you're still having at it, but you're still content with what you currently have, and happy with what you have now, you know what I mean? I think people would be a lot happier overall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like,
or what do you think about the balance between like goals and being content?
If you're going to be content with your life, then I guess you shouldn't complain about the things that you don't have. If you want those things, that's fine. Set your goal to get them. But if you're going to complain about not having them, then maybe you aren't content.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, it's good though. Cause like, I feel like Steph and I, we're in a fortunate position. Like we have a nice apartment.
Yeah. We've
got 2 great kids. Like
you got the Tesla.
We got Tessies. We're the besties with the Tessies right now. Yep. And 3
cameras,
$3,000 to $4,000 cameras over here.
Look at all this stuff.
I mean, this is my profession as well, though. So part of that is, but like we don't have the crazy life that I think her and I both want.
Yeah.
But I think we are fighting to be content with what we do have. Like because we want a house to live in. We would love to be in.
Yeah.
Let's see, North Tustin area, it's a lot of family over there.
Yeah.
It'd just be a home in general, having just not crazy big liabilities, you know what I mean? But I think we're trying to find that balance of like, okay, how do we set goals that are like, let's do this and let's save X amount of dollars and pay these things off and put Kai and Kieran in these things when they get older and go on vacations, but also knowing in the back of our mind of like, okay, but if we can't do all of these things, or say worst case scenario, we are unable to do any of those things, are we still content? Are we still happy with the life we have right now? And I feel like it's always a struggle for both of us just to be like, you know what? I'm stoked about the life I have.
Yeah.
So it's a weird balance.
Yeah, I think if you're not content, if you're truly not content, then you will change it.
Yeah.
You'll find a way to change it.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you go out and you say, I want to buy a house, and then you realize that to buy a house, you have to do X, Y, and Z, and you realize that those things are just too hard or
uncomfortable.
You don't want to do them.
Yeah.
Then maybe you don't want a house, maybe you realize, okay, no, I'm content with what I have because I don't want to put the work in for these other things.
Mm-hmm.
Or, a lot of people like think there's like this timeline with life, like you have to do this or people are going to judge you.
Yeah.
You have to have this by then, or, like
get
you
married,
have to have kids,
a house, have
you
kids
have to
by 30.
Get married. Like this is so untrue. Like everyone just thinks like you know, especially with Instagram nowadays, like they see these people like, you know, they get married, they look super happy, they get engaged, they get married, they have kids, they buy a house. And it's like, unfortunately, probably 8 times out of 10 those people are not happy. They look happy on Instagram. But everyone's like in a rush to get all these things because they think they have to like look successful or make people proud. But
Yeah.
like, you know, I mean, we all know how much a house costs nowadays.
A lot.
And the interest rates,
A
you know,
lot.
like everybody has their 2 cents on when they should buy a house
Yeah.
or why they should buy a
I
house.
got
or
too many real estate friends on Instagram right now.
Yeah, it's like, you know, everyone's like, no, buy a house right now. It doesn't matter. You can refinance. I'm not a realtor or anything, but
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah. No, for
you
sure.
know, it's not about that. It's about like what people are comfortable with paying. Like, yeah, sure, you can refinance in a year or two or whatever, but what if somebody can't afford $5,000 a month for a 800 square foot 1-bedroom home?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, but yeah, I don't know where we're going with that,
Oh,
but
I don't think there was really a direct. Oh, I think we were just talking about learning how to be like content, but still have goals.
yeah,
You know, because
yeah,
like I can see I can hear my dad now of like, you know, don't settle.
yeah,
But like part of, I don't think there is like a direct correlation. Like it's not an if then statement of
yeah,
if you're content, then that means you are comfortable. You know what I mean? I'm not saying any of that. So there's
yeah,
no like weird equation or life formula I'm getting at. But like, I think it's just interesting to think that everyone has their own crazy specific life and different goals and different aspirations. And you can want to, like, it's good to want more, but it's also good to be happy with what you got. You
yeah,
know,
like
like it's such a weird,
appreciate,
yeah,
you know?
you know, like,
No, for sure. I totally agree. You
uh,
gotta just like appreciate like the little things and just life in general. It's like so crazy what like
I mean,
humans have made, you know? Like it's just nuts.
yeah,
Like I could never build a table. If I was like the only person on this planet,
you're not a
like
carpenter.
I'd be like, you know what? I'm just gonna sit here and just wait it out. Like everything, I don't know. Sometimes I'll just think about like how crazy life is and just like what we have. Like look at this. It's like it's just crazy.
Yeah.
Everything's what we've all made as humans and stuff. We all contribute little by little,
Little by little.
you know.
Uh-huh.
Some people contribute in a big way, like Elon, the master Elon. But
Elon, can I please get a $12,000 check for the money that I lost on my Model Y, please? Thank you.
it's all strategic, man. He knows what he's doing. You're gonna get that back later.
I hope so. I hope so.
But yeah, life's crazy.
In a lighter fashion, I did want we were talking about it a little bit in the car, but my example to you about getting to know people more, and I just threw the random situation out of like, oh yeah, you know, my name's Cody, I'm a videographer, and I didn't like golfing, and now I like golfing. What can you tell me again what brought on the going from I hate golf to now you and Sabrina are both getting private lessons for golf?
I don't know. For me, I'm very wow, why can't I think of the word right now?
Sporadic.
No. It's a very simple word. I'm just drawing a blank. Competitive.
Oh, okay.
I'm very competitive when I do sports, and I'm usually pretty good at everything, but not like very good.
Sure.
Like I'll be okay at pretty much everything. I
Jack
can
of
do
all
it.
trades, but proficient
I
at
can
none.
snowboard, I can surf, I can wakeboard, I can do it all, but not like extremely well at
Okay.
all. You know, like I can just do it. So when it came to golf and I was not good at it, I was just like, I hate this sport, you know, like. But then it got to the point where like all of my buddies would go golfing, And like I'd be like, nah, I'm just gonna go drink. Like
Yeah.
I'll come, but I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
drink.
yeah, yeah.
And then I was like, you know what? This would be a lot more fun if I was good at it and I'm competitive. And like some of my buddies, the funny thing with golf is that people will say they're golfers, but they suck. Like, so I slowly realized, oh wow, like I can do this and say I'm a golfer
Uh-huh.
and I don't have to be that good. Because, I would go and I would suck and I'd be like, I'm not gonna play the sport because like I'm not gonna play something I'm not like
Good at.
decent at and that I can't like actually play. Like I'm not gonna like fake my score and stuff. Like there's no point. I'd rather just not do it.
Yeah.
But little by little you realize like a lot of the average golfer sucks at golfing. They're just doing it because it's fun.
Yeah.
And like you get to get out and with your boys or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I golf with Sabrina sometimes too. It's just fun to get out, and it's actually a pretty fun sport. Like, it's fun that it's so hard because it's like you're never just gonna like master it. Sure, some people do, but it's just fun to go out and like if you're decent, you're probably gonna like be able to hang with the crew that you're with.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, obviously, there's a lot of great golfers, but I would say there's definitely a lot more that are not great. And you slowly realize, like, okay, I can do this.
Yeah.
I can hang.
I feel like that can be pretty similar to a lot of sports. I don't know why in my brain I put golf as like its own specific genre, but like I'm thinking like, oh, okay, well when I go play basketball on Tuesday nights, like there's a good variety of people that some people are absolute trash, but they still hang with everybody. And then there's other people that are like, fuck, I don't want to guard you, like
it's just good. It's like a good, like you can meet people, like you said, like, you can meet other people, you can make friends, you can get out and just like breathe and enjoy like
fresh
being
air.
outdoors.
Yeah.
And like, but yeah, I used to think golf was like the most boring sport ever.
Yeah. See, I have been thinking that, and I feel like I'm in that transition of if I meet a group of people that I would like to consistently hang out with and they happen to want me to golf, then I can see it. I'd be like, all right, let's go do it. It's
pretty
3-4
fun,
hours of just hanging out with people, like
it's kind of crazy that it lasts 4 hours long. Like I'll be out there and I'll be like, dude, I gotta get home. This was a lot, Like I'm content playing 9 holes and I'll be done.
Yeah.
4 hours is quite a while, but
it could easily go that long.
when you really enjoy it, you're like, yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
This is fine.
See, I can't. Maybe that's why basketball is better, or maybe I don't know. I'm making a big assumption here. Is if you have kids, you are not playing golf as often.
No, but I
basketball.
would assume if you have kids, you're down to get out of the house for 4 hours.
100%. No, but I'm saying though, is like you don't have the ability to be gone for that long. That
without
consistently
getting chewed out.
Exactly. 100%.
Versus your kids and your wife.
Versus basketball is good, or like just went bowling. Basketball or bowling is good because it can be at 8:00 when the kids are in bed and you can go play for 2 hours at the gym.
True.
You know what I mean? And like you still get your hang time, sort of, like you could go get, get some Wingstop, right after, or get some In-N-Out right after and kick it and hang out for a little bit. But like the boys, the kids are in bed. You know what I mean? Like you don't have anything to worry about.
Yeah.
So no, it's interesting. I can even see myself like as you're talking about it, like, yeah, I wouldn't mind golfing, like, well, maybe this would be before I would be like, hell no, I'm not golfing.
Yeah.
I know it costs a lot of money and I choose not to spend my money that way. I've learned to say it that way because if I really wanted to.
Yeah. I'm pretty frugal and I'm surprised that I golf as much as I do now because every time I'm like, oh, there goes like another $60 or whatever. And then you got to buy like, another club or you buy a couple beers and it's like, all right, there's $100 before you know it. And I was going golfing like every other day. It's like, because when I like find something I like to do, I like get obsessed.
Yeah.
I'll go every other day.
I'm the same way.
And
I'm the same way.
Enjoy it as much as I can. But yeah, it's a fun sport.
Yeah. Nice, dude. So the one of the last things I like to do, if we can keep chatting, obviously, but like the last thing that comes to my mind that I would want to ask you is this idea of like, say there's an audio time capsule,
Mm-hmm.
and your great great grandkids
Oh my gosh.
get to listen to this. What
It's
like
weird because they will be able to
Right.
listen.
But like
If I have
what
great grandkids,
you know, like
at
future
least.
future generations of just like what knowledge would you want to just drop on them? You know, it could be one sentence, it could be a whole hour-long spiel, but like what kind of advice would you give them on life from your experience? Again, we've only been here for
Damn, dude.
30 and 32 years, so we haven't had a crazy amount of
Yeah.
time on this earth.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, we have both gone through a lot of shit, a lot of great shit, a lot of bad shit. What would you want to
think
drop?
For me, it would just be one word of like, and I'll explain it, but like balance. You got to balance out your life. You know, you have to enjoy it. You have to have fun and like, you know, meet people and be kind to people and like make friends. And I'm all about like who you know, like get to know a lot of people and have fun and enjoy life. But also like take care of your shit and like, you know, don't get caught up in bad things. If you like to party, good, party and then go home and get to work and like, you know, just go through your phases and balance out your life and make sure that you get your shit done so that things don't ruin your future, you know? Like if you do something dumb when you're young, it could potentially ruin your future. So just balance out your life. Make sure that you enjoy it, but you get your shit done.
Nice.
So you can really enjoy your life, you know? But yeah, what's up, grandkids?
What's up, great?
Dude, that'd be weird. Well, I guess it will be weird, most likely.
I just told you I just spoke to my great grandma last week.
It's trippy.
Crazy time, man. I'm like, we're still really fucking young.
Yeah.
We just hit our 30s.
Yeah, it is weird. Cause like I can't remember like, you know, when I was 10, but I'll be able to remember when I was like 20, when I'm like 50 or 60.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude. Life is crazy. I have a lot of weird like moments about life, like thinking about life.
Like
and
what?
Stuff. Well, like I told you, I took gummies, like
Yep.
weed gummies, to go to sleep. And it either knocks me out and have a great sleep, or I am tripping balls. I am like thinking about death and like how I don't want to die one day.
Yeah.
And like, dude, it's just crazy. It's just like, and it's weird too, like when you're saying like, you know, this can be with our grandkids or whatever. Like, it's so weird that like our families or our parents or great grandparents, like they don't have like HD videos of them like growing up. Like we're gonna have all that stuff, like for the most part. But like our kids now, like you're gonna have 4K video, which in 30 years from now, it's probably gonna be trash. Like 4K, that's gonna be nothing, dude. But like it's just crazy, like how technology and like, you know, all that stuff just advances so much. But like, don't you think that we're at like a curve,
like coming to a plateau?
Yeah, like where it's like gonna kind of level off and like how much better can all this stuff get?
Yeah, I don't know, because like part of the experience, and I guess even a podcast in general, is like the audio. This is not how I hear.
Yeah.
What I hear right now is like, it's peaceful. I call it like, it's just a void. And the only thing that is going on is what you're hearing. And it's super clean audio. And what I see is never nearly as good as what is on camera. You know, like sometimes it's better. very rarely, and that's like in high contrast areas. Sure. That's
Yeah.
really about it though,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think part of the experience is learning to one just maneuver where we're all investing our time and resources, like maybe it's not necessarily going to 12K cameras, but we're all now focused on how the heck do we teleport in
Yeah.
one space to another. Now we don't have to pay for flights.
Yeah,
Like
who knows,
I
man?
think it's just however the market decides of what we're going to focus on is the direction we're going. So yeah,
It's crazy.
it's pretty trippy. But anything else you want to talk about?
God, I don't know. We kind of covered a lot.
Yeah.
I'm pretty satisfied with our
Okay.
but we should do it again.
Yeah, I'm totally down.
Let the dust settle.
Yeah. We'll come back in a few months. Yeah. We'll see. We'll do our check-ins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's been fun. It's
See if
awesome
you
that you're
can
doing this.
see if you can math correctly the next time that we do this then.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get my dates tatted on my forearm.
It's like maybe that's why people tattoo dates and certain things. Is how are you gonna remember it?
And they get them in like Roman numerals, so you don't even really know what's going on. And then they're like, "Yeah, my wedding anniversary is this day."
Just put it like right here as like a barcode. Get a QR code tattooed on yourself.
That has all
blast the
your dates.
QR card on your phone, and boom, you got all the information right there.
You're smart.
I'm pretty sure it's already happening.
Probably.
Thanks, dude. Appreciate you
Yeah,
coming.
Wait,
on
what
by.
were you gonna tell your grandkids, real quick?
Oh shoot. Let's see. My immediate response is have fun and be smart. If you can learn to do both of those things, I feel like you'll be a good person.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you'll know how to balance work and life and play.
Yeah.
Learn how to play, even as an adult. All my freaking toddler, all Kai ever wants to do is play.
Yeah.
As we get older, obviously we get more responsibilities, but I still want to go play, whether if it's basketball, bowling, maybe golf in a couple years. Who knows? Maybe it's when I turn 32. That way we're at the same age when we started, and then we can see who's better.
Probably.
No, but yeah, I would say have fun and be smart. Have fun and be smart. Thanks, dude.
Maybe our grandkids will hang out.
Hey, that would be so sick.
Right?